Hey, welcome back to the channel, Shake Hands with Destiny, where our whole thing is we talk about faith and finance, okay? Why? Because our whole thing is eradicate hardships and stimulate lives. I only shake hands with my destiny if you shake hands with your destiny. So let's get it, let's go. So, but before we jump too far along here, I want you to do one thing for me here. If everything is good on this channel afterwards, go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel because I'm going to give you some fire content on faith and finance, okay, on an everyday basis. The second thing is go ahead and meet my co-host here, Shanika, because we're talking about getting her and jumping her credit and her finances right. Our whole thing is execute like the 1% of the 1%. So let's get it. So what we talking about today, y'all? We're talking about, is it about a credit freeze? Is it about locking your credit? Or is it about a fraud alert? Some people have talked about credit freezing. You should do it or you should not. I'm going to give you the pros and I'm going to give you the cons. And mostly everything is all pro. Some people will say, well, I didn't do it. And even my journey when I first started my credit journey, I personally didn't know about this journey right here where you actually should freeze your credit. Did it affect me or not? I'm not really sure. Did I still get everything off of my credit? Yes. However, I may have been able to do it a little bit faster. And I want to talk about what the difference, first of all, is in a credit freeze versus a credit lock versus a fraud alert. Okay. Once your credit is established and you got that 700 plus credit score, I do recommend putting what you call a lock on your three major credit bureaus at the bare minimum of Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. What that does for you is whenever you apply for something, it allows it to be locked. So you won't get approved unless you unlock it, or they will actually call you and say, hey, your credit is locked. You need to unlock it. Okay. And then you just go in by the click of a button, you can unlock your credit. No harm, no foul. Fraud alert, definitely something that, because once you get that 700 plus credit score, do you want somebody messing up your credit? You work too hard to get this stuff established. No, you don't. But let's talk about credit freeze today. And one of the things that I'm going to show you step by step what you should be doing to freeze your credit, because people don't understand that there's plenty, at least 50 plus what you call secondary agencies outside of Equifax, outside of TransUnion, outside of Experian. And let me explain what they're doing is because what's happening is you want to shut them up. So you have, for an example, you have Experian. And Experian, you have a collection on your report. And when you send in a letter to try to get that collection off based on your consumer law, one of the ways is you want to say, well, is this verified? They're going to send back saying, hey, I verified this. Okay. What they're doing is they're not calling the XYZ creditor to say, hey, did Shanika pay her bill? No, what they're doing is they're going to what you call a secondary agency, okay, such as ARS, such as LexisNexis, which we're going to talk about what each one of those report. So what they're doing is they're saying, hey, did Shanika pay her rent? Did she get evicted? Did she have a foreclosure? Did she have a bankruptcy? Did she have a rent to own? Did she have a bad check? These are what these secondary actual agency are actually holding, things such as those. So what you want to do, if you had a friend and you tell your friend your personal business, do you want your friend going back and telling everybody else your business? The answer to that is what? No. The same thing is going to apply here. We want to tell them to shut up, quit telling all my business, okay? So we're going to do what you call a credit freeze on the credit bureaus and your primary and secondaries while you are starting your process. You want to do this first. Is it an absolute that you have to do it? No, you don't. If you have any public records such as a bankruptcy, I definitely recommend it. However, is it any harm in doing it? No. Tell them people to shut up telling your business, okay? So we're going to jump right in. I'm going to show you here. I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to show you each one of these here. Bear with me just a moment. I'm going to share my screen here. Give me a second. Always take a long time sharing screen for whatever reason, okay? But the first thing is what I want you to do is I want you to see where I'm getting this information from actually, okay? I am actually getting this information. Let me go ahead from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Okay. So one of the first things is you can actually look up here and just go to LexisNexis, and you're going to see right here, LexisNexis is where I'm getting it. Because I understand totally, like, you like, man, this stuff a scam. I'm not putting in my information. You can always go, like I said before, directly to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and you can get all of these different links that I'm going to show you here today. I just wanted to share that with you first to let you know where I'm getting this information from. Now, let's jump right on in here, okay? One of the first places you want to go to is LexisNexis. What you want to do, and all of these links are going to be right below, okay? And of course, if you're already in our course, all of this information is there as well. You just go into LexisNexis, go into submit a request online. You want to fill in your personal information. Yes, it's going to ask you for your social security number and things like that. They already have that, okay? So you would simply fill out this information. And before we get started, what I definitely recommend that you do is make a spreadsheet of what you're doing so you can always go back and unlock these later once your credit is restored and you now have that 700 plus credit score. You want to take the freezes off, because if you're applying for something, you may want to put a lock on your credit, but remove the actual freeze. Okay, so you want to make a spreadsheet, so because some places will give you a PIN number and you'll need that in future reference. So right here, LexisNexis, you can do this right online, and you just go in here, fill out all of your information here. You're going to go to submit. It's just that simple. You can submit online and it's done in seconds. Okay, what's one of the other ones here that you want to go to? Here is Innovis, okay? Innovis holds what you call your identification verifications. So what this means, when you send in something to get your reports done and they say, hey, I verified you, this is exactly why you want to stop Innovis from actually reporting, okay? You want to say, shut up telling my business, okay? The same thing goes here. Request a security freeze. You're going to go ahead. You're going to click that button here. And what you want to do is, sometimes if it says, I want to opt out for 5 years, okay? But in this case, I'm just going to request a security freeze. I'm going to fill out all my personal information here. I'm going to go ahead and submit the information. It's very simple there. That's Innovis, okay? Next one we're going to go to is what you call ARS, okay? ARS here is a little bit hard. They're going to send you some email here, but you want to just opt out here. I agree. Go to consumer, go to continue. You want to go ahead and fill out all of your information here. Once you get that, you're going to get an email, okay? And then they are going to give you what you call a PIN number. You want to make sure when you get that PIN number in the mail, put that PIN number up somewhere, because that is something you will need to unfreeze your credit later on, okay? So again, ARS is another one that's giving you, they're going to restrict and give you access to your credit report. So by putting that freeze, you're saying, hey, I don't want you talking to Experian. I don't want you telling my business to Equifax. No, because remember, with your collection, who are they calling? They're calling the secondary bureaus. It's actually a system that's calling the secondary bureaus. They're not calling up your creditors, okay? So then the next one here, Factor Trust. You get all these different letters saying, hey, you've been pre-approved for this. You've been pre-screened for this. You want to do the same thing here. You want to opt out here for a 5-year period. Again, you're going to go ahead and you're going to submit this information. Fill out your information here. It's all very basic. You're going to go ahead and hit that confirm button. Again, you're going to go back after your credit is restored, and you're going to remove these freezes. It's as simple as that, just as easy to do this online as well. So this is Trust Factor. What is Trust Factor going to be doing? Again, the reason you want to freeze it is because you don't want any of this information going back and forth with, hey, we gave you a freeze before, or we had your information previously, okay? And this can they're hosting all of your information. Again, this is just like a friend. Do you want somebody telling your business? The answer to that is what? No, shut up talking about my business, all right? Next, okay, let's go to Clarity. Clarity is actually owned by Experian. So where do you think they're getting the information from? Why do you think it's so hard for you to get that information off of Experian? That's because Clarity is doing the exact same thing. So what you want to go here is you want to go opt out for 5 years. Now, Clarity, again, if you have title loans, that's where it is here. If you ever had a rent to own, check check cashing systems, payday loans. There's an emphasis, generally speaking, on what you call quote unquote lower income payday loans. So if any of those are in a negative, because see, sometimes we have things that's not necessarily on our Experian or on our Equifax or TransUnion, but you're getting denied for something. Why? Because they're holding it in what you call your secondary agencies. So all of a sudden you had a payday loan and you didn't pay that back. It's not on your main Experian credit report, but it's stopping you now from getting another XYZ credit card or loan because Clarity is reporting it. So that's what you want to do here. Fill out your information, simply submit. Okay, let's go to the next one. Check systems, baby. Check systems. Check systems. If you had any open bank accounts, closed bank accounts, this is where all of that information is. And of course, if you had any bad checks, it may not be on your actual main three Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, but it's right here in check systems. Why is this important? Because later on, when we go in to get the bag, because again, I'm only 1 year credit to get established so we can go get you the personal funding, the business funding that is required. But when you go to open up XYZ bank accounts or credit unions, and if you have an account that has been in a negative or a bad check is out there, it's going to stop you. So therefore, what you're trying to do here is say, hey, I want check systems to not tell my business. Please understand though, in some cases, can some information still squeak through the cracks? Yes. Like government agencies, can they still get some of your information? Yes. Can some creditors still get some of your information? Yes. But you do want to attempt to close every nook and cranny and say, shut up, telling my business as much as possible. Okay. So let's go to the last few here. Let's go to CoreLogic or TellTrack, okay? Which again, this is another one that has subprime. So if you're ever trying to get an auto loan, this is where it is many times. If you're ever trying to get a payday loan, credit unions, cell phone bills, subprime credit cards, when you're trying to get that $500, $300 Capital One quote unquote card. Although, again, I'm going to show you how to not to get the $500 cards, but I'm going to show you how to get the $50,000, the $25,000 cards, the $5,000, the $15,000 cards. But this is where this information is. If you've had a cable bill, cell phone bill, payday loan, again, subprime, home lenders, this is where your information will be. Again, you want to, again, take this off later on down the line. Again, so these are some of your, again, are there more of these? Absolutely. But these are some of the ones I do recommend that you freeze right up front. Okay, now you want to do the exact same thing with your main ones, Equifax, TransUnion, and so forth. I'm sorry, let me go back real quick here. Obviously on CoreLogic or Tell, they're going to do a paper copy here. When you submit this, place freeze here. Keep in mind, when you fill out this information for CoreLogic or TellTrack, they're going to ask for that information to come in the mail. Okay, so this is how you want to do that. So just make sure you put that security freeze on there. Now, same thing is going to go for Equifax, the exact same thing. You want to fill out the information here, submit the information. Same thing for Equifax. You want to go same exact thing for Experian. You do have to create an account, and then you'll be able to freeze that information. Okay, let's go over here to TransUnion. Again, TransUnion, you want to do the exact same thing here. You want to add a freeze right here. And you want to, again, as you can see, you can go back and remove that freeze later on. And just remember this again. Some of your TransUnion, Equifax, I'm going to stop sharing here for a second. There we go. Again, just remember this. These are what you call your secondary agencies. You want to do this before you even start the process, okay? Because why? Can some information still slip through the cracks? The answer to that is yes. However, do you want to attempt to tell as many of your friends to say, don't tell my business, but you're going to still have some of that gossip that's going to get through, right? Same thing goes here with freezing your secondary agencies as well as your primary agencies, okay? Hey, y'all, if you like this information, go ahead and like and subscribe, comment on here, ask me some questions. Hey, and last but not least, again, remember this. I only shake hands with my destiny if you shake hands with your destiny. Let's get it. Let's go.